Yo, how's it going? Just going to jump in here so I can see the chat in the live. Righty, ha-ho. Righto, peeps, we're going to jump straight into it here. So yeah, just been down to Promo Motorcycles to Oddie and picked the bike up. Left the bike with him over the Christmas New Year's break because I was away for 2 weeks, so dropped it down to him before I left. Yeah, she was smoking a little bit when you really give it a rev, which turned out to be valve stem seals. Was also making like a knocking, slapping sound on startup and not actually starting straight away, which appears to have been the starter clutch starting to wear out. So yeah, while it was there, we've had top end rebuild done, so piston and rings. He's vapor blasted the cylinder and the head, vapor blasted my header pipe and system, replaced that starter clutch, new valve stem seals. He found when he took the header off and the radiator hoses off, I'd previously bent the header pipe, dinted it and had bent the pipe, and the pipe had actually pulled down onto the one of the portions of the radiator hose and melted it. So it wasn't melted right through, luckily, but it was very, very thin and prone to busting, popping, whatever you want to call it. So we've gone for, you can't really see it that well because it's all nicely tucked up in there, but I'll show you a photo of it. We've basically let me get to live here. So we've basically gone from this, which has got the thermostat and a junction here. We've gone from that to this setup here. Let me hop behind so I can make sure you can see it properly. So we've gone to a two-piece setup, which is a delete. So that has done away with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 extra clamps, 7 chances of leaking. So yeah, and made it a lot more streamlined, and obviously the thermostat delete as well. So I'll give you a bit of a closer. I'll grab the camera in a second. I'll show you the cylinder and that. So yeah, essentially we're all freshened up, ready for a new season. ANGTVR, just going through work that I've just had done on the bike, man. I've just got it back from the shop. So yeah, just going through what's been done to it, what the symptoms were and what we've done. So welcome aboard. Dubra, hello, how are you? Welcome. So yeah, that hose that I was just showing you, this is basically, this is an aftermarket pipes, but this is basically the same as factory setup. So yeah, these are a way better quality pipe, but the delete kit is just so much more cleaner and so much less prone to leaking. So yeah, I'm Australian. Pick up on the accent, eh? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Yeah, so fresh top end, freshening her up. Probably going to do a clutch before I start my first race in March. We're going to see how it goes over training the next couple of months. But more than likely we'll throw a new clutch in for this season, being that I'm looking at doing 5 rounds of the Queensland Enduro of hard enduro in the Great Divide East Coast Championship. So cool, both of you. That's awesome. Yeah, so heading out for a ride this Arby, so you can stay tuned for a ride video in the next couple of days, or probably not the next couple of days because I've got to work Saturday and Sunday, so maybe Monday I'll throw an edit together and put it up on here. But yeah, let's have a hey Tracy, how you going? Thanks for dropping in. So this was the starter clutch. This was what was causing the starting issue. Probably won't be able to see it in there, but it was starting to wear in here. Not sure if you know how this works, but basically this spins while you're winding the bike over to start, and as soon as the bike starts, this just free spins. But what happens is, as it wears, when this spins, it doesn't actually grip the crankshaft and doesn't actually spin it over to create compression to start the bike. So that was wearing out. So it was essentially, it was slipping and then grabbing, slipping and grabbing until the bike finally started. So yeah, so that seems to have solved that problem. I've given the old piston a clean up. She had just a bit of carbon and a bit of oil, burnt oil and that on top. But that was the piston that come out of it. So a little bit of minor wear on both sides of the skirt. Bit hard to see in the light there, but yeah, that might be a better light. Very minor wear on there, both sides of the skirt, but we swapped that out. That's got a brand new piston and rings in there. So yeah, valve stem seals. Let's have a look at so yeah, while he had it apart, he vapor blasted the cylinder. So you can see the difference there between, oh, where's my finger here? So that there versus vapor blasted, it's like new. Like if only you could vapor blast your engine every time you cleaned it, how good would that be? And then that's the new Semco radiator hoses. Can't really see that well in there, but she's got good clearance around the header. And if we have a look on this other side here, yeah, there's no thermostat, no big bulky 4-way fitting. So yeah, really good. And he's got the good he's put the good clamps on there, not the worm drive ones. So he's put the crimp style clamps on there. Hey Haley Key, how are you? Thanks for dropping in. What else did I have? Yeah, Dubra, they're really, really happy, eh? Like, yeah, really happy with that setup. Yeah, Tracy, I did see you say hi multiple times. That was the other thing. I've just fitted from Brisbane Dirt Bike Rental sent me out a billet aluminium throttle housing to replace the factory cast alloy. So this one's billet. So yeah, gonna test that one out for Brisbane Dirt Bike Rentals. Prior to the rebuild, I fitted a new internal the chain tensioner. So the factory chain tensioner on these gases is primary run off oil pressure. So you don't get the tension on your timing chain until the oil pressure comes up when the bike started. So the new internal in here is spring backup and ratchet. So basically it has pressure on the timing chain with a spring to a certain degree, and then once the oil pressure comes up, it adds additional pressure onto the timing chain. And the ratchet setup in it doesn't allow the tensioner to draw back like it does on the factory one, so it keeps that pressure on there and only just applies that little bit of oil pressure, yeah, as it's required. So, Dubra, the promo had the bike for 2 weeks, but he's obviously had to wait on parts and that. So I just left the bike with him for 2 weeks while I was on holidays, and then he's had it all this week as well. So, and I've just picked it up this morning. So, essentially he's had the bike for 3 weeks, but I don't think he started on the bike until the second week. So, yeah. But I think if that kind of job, if you had parts on hand and didn't have to order anything, you'd knock that job over in probably half a day or so, depending on if you had all the correct tools and had everything set up to go. Maybe slow going, it could take you a full day, especially, I suppose, from you got to take into consideration pulling the bike down, like seat, tank, radiators, fuel tank, all that sort of thing. So, but yeah, I couldn't honestly tell you how long Chris spent on the bike, but yeah. But yeah, looking forward to going for a ride. What is it? 11:45 at the moment. Going to meet up with Jordo at about 2:30. Going to have a pretty cruisy ride today. Yeah, just with the new piston and rings. Oddie's run it in, but I'm still going to take it steady. Like I'm going to ride it normal, but I'm not going to go in and do any hard, slow stuff and risk putting too much heat into the motor prematurely. So yeah, we'll just go out. We'll just do some faster, flowy stuff, some of the creeks, a few little hills and stuff like that, just to finish sort of bedding everything in. And then yeah, more than likely next ride we'll go out and we'll hit a bit of the harder stuff. Start getting in some training for this upcoming season. Just having a look here, guys, to see if I can adjust who I can see chat. Sometimes it only shows me green screen. Yeah, just trying to see, because sometimes it doesn't show me all of the I think I can do it on this one. Yeah, live chat filter, see on here, because this is what this is what I see, and I can adjust a few things from here, but it says on my end that the chat filter is top messages, and I want to see all messages. So whether it makes a difference or not, I don't know, but yeah. At least if I choose it, I know that I'm going to see all messages and not just the top messages. So, trying to think of what else I've got. Probably not a great deal. Just the season coming up. Season starts March for me is the first round of the Queensland Enduro Championship, which is the first round is in Roma. So yeah, so that'll be first round. So I've got the rest of this month and February to get the training in, bit of testing and that on the bike. Pretty happy with the, well, pretty is an understatement. I'm very happy with the suspension from Promo, which is suspension side of the business, which is Pro-O suspension. He's done my front forks and also my rear shock. So front forks he did, re-sprung them for my weight and re-shimmed them to suit the riding. And also a request that I put in because of my broken wrist, and I have a lot of pain through here. I'll wear a wrist brace, but the jarring, well, as tracks deteriorate and the rough tracks and that jars through my wrist. So I just said to him I wanted it to be a bit more plush to sort of take a bit of that jarring off the wrist, which he's, yeah, he nailed that. I had the front forks done first and sorted that out. And then I dropped the rear shock and spring into him, and he put a bladder kit in that. So I'll spin you around. So yeah, he put a bladder kit in there. The spring was correct for my weight, but he did do a bit of internal work as well to get it to suit. So it is very, very plush, which is the way I like it. It's great for hard enduro and also works well for enduro. So yeah, Pro-O suspension. If you're local to the area, give Oddie a call on that number. He'll sort you out, get your suspension. He's completely set up for everything. He can even organise to have your forks coated. You can get coating on here and coating on there as well. He'll send them away and get whatever colour. I mean, obviously there's certain colours available, but he can organise to have these anode and have these done as well for you. So yeah, but keen to get the season rolling. Feels like forever since we raced. But yeah, planning a big season this season. All going to plan. Of gathering all the dates and working out distances to travel. at the moment, the furthest is Bike Territory Hard Enduro, which is, I think it's Narrabri, which from here is about a 9, I think it's an 8.5 or 9 hour drive from here. So I've got to sort out for if I need time off, because I work every second weekend. So those big ones I've got to look. I'll probably take off on the Thursday if we can, or maybe might take off early Friday morning. Haven't decided yet, because maybe carpooling. Jordo from Chaos Adventures is keen to carpool to some of these further races to try and cut down on costs and obviously share the driving, so it's not so full on. But yeah, just in the process of working all that out, seeing what races fall on my weekends off, what races are on my weekends on, because I'll have to apply for leave, annual leave holidays on those weekends that I'm supposed to be working. So actually, Mossman is going to be the furthest. I forgot about Mossman. Mossman is a 2-hour drive. It's about a 18 to 20 hour drive to Mossman. That's actually my hometown. But normally what I do there is I take my wife with me. We go together because all my family's still in Mossman. So we normally take either a week and a half or so, because it's 2 days up basically, and it's like a 8-9 hour day the first day and a 8-9 hour day the second day, depending on how far you go on the first day. But we normally go up, stay with my brother and sister-in-law in Mossman, do the race, spend a bit of time with family, and then the 2-day trip home. So that'll be obviously another one that I have to put leave in for. So yeah, just at the moment, gathering all that together, trying to get a plan, so then I'll put in for all of the holidays all at once. Yeah, and I've just got, there's 1 month there, I think there's 3 events in a row, 3 weekends in a row. So I'm going to have to see 2 of those in that month fall on my weekends off. The one in the middle, which is the one that I'm definitely going to race, which is the Queensland Hard Enduro Series. Yeah, and then I've just got to work out whether I'm going to do the other 2 either side or one. I'm not sure yet. And a big part of that will depend on how I pull up. Obviously, the hard enduros can take a lot out of you to do that, go back to work for the week, and then back up and do another hard enduro event, essentially less than 7 days later. So say you'd race on the Sunday, I'd probably go back to work on the Tuesday, work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I suppose it's only 3 days at work, but then yeah, back into travel again. Generally prologue on Saturday and then main event on the Sunday. So a big part of that. That is later in the year. So fitness should be up, recovery should be up, and yeah, I should be able to back up, quite well, provided, I keep my hydration and nutrition on point, make sure I keep the body fed. So yeah, that's but yeah, I just wanted to sort of come on and just give you an update on the bike and what I had done to the bike and what the symptoms were. And just I love catching up with you guys. I love being able to chat with subscribers and answer questions. But yeah, I can't get over this monstrosity, Like, to think that fits in between the frame and the head of the bike. So that essentially so what you can see there, that's that pipe, and then all of that all normally sits up in there somehow. But yeah, this new Semco, this two-piece hose setup is the bomb. So clean in there, so much clearance around the header. But I'll chuck that in the spares box. It's always good to have spares. I've had instances at events where I've had stuff that I sort of didn't really need myself, but like one that I had was an old set of brake pads that I swapped out prematurely. To put a new set in, I actually put the old set of front and rears in my race box, in my spares box to take with me. And believe it or not, at one of the events, one of the hard enduros at Big Rocks, I had one of the guys that I know there. I've known for years. He come over to camp and he said, "Oh man," he said, "you wouldn't happen to have any brake pads, would you?" And yeah, lo and behold, I had, I can't remember whether he needed fronts or rears, but I had both there. Still had enough meat on them to get him through the race, but he found he'd overlooked and his were down to pretty much metal on metal. So yeah, I was quite happy to give him those pads. I didn't want any money or anything for him, so I just gave him the pads. And yeah, he got to race, whereas yeah, he wouldn't have had a real good race with running metal on metal on his discs or on his pad, because that also gets very costly when you get down to the metal on your brake pads, because it gouges your disc, and discs aren't cheap. I just had to buy a new disc a few months ago to set up my second set of rims because it didn't have a front disc on it. So yeah, had to shell out for that. I think it was the best part of like 120 or 130 bucks for a decent quality disc. I know you can get what do you call it? You can get cheap discs and that, but yeah, you get what you pay for essentially. That's probably a bit better view than looking straight in my big ugly mug. So 12 o'clock, so countdown. Can't wait to go riding. It's been, this will be 3 weeks. No, 1, 2, 3. So it'll actually be 4 weeks. 4 weeks since I've ridden, because I rode the Friday. I had a week at work, and then we were flying out on the Saturday, which was Saturday the 19th, no, 20th. Saturday the 20th we were flying out, so I didn't ride on the Friday, just had to get everything finalised and that to fly out on holidays on the Saturday the 20th. So all of that week, all of the 2 weeks that I was away, this week I've been at work, so today will essentially be, yeah, 4 weeks, man, off the bike. I'm chomping at the bit to get out there and get amongst it. Keen to catch up with Jordo. It's been a minute since I've ridden with Jordo. But we will get amongst it and have some fun. Just going to check how long I've been on for and make a call. So that's been half an hour. It's sort of showing 12, 13 people on that phone. Showing 14, 12, 14 people on that. So it's sort of fluctuating a bit, which is pretty cool. People coming and going. But appreciate everybody that's jumping in, saying g'day. Yeah, really appreciate everyone that supports me. Followers on Facebook, Instagram, subscribers here on YouTube, all of my sponsors. Yeah, MX Inc. They do my kit. Focus X do my racing gear. NSX Factor do my front and rear pull straps. Promo Motorcycles, my mechanic does my suspension. Just done the top end rebuild. What else have we got? Headskins Australia. They do headwear. I've got bucket hats. I've got face shields. We've got Moto Odyssey Australia. They support me. They send me out merch and stuff. Juve Sports Australia supply me with palm protectors and muscle spray, etc. Metrolec Australia, auto electrician. So he looks after me with a heap of stuff. He's the hydration stuff and that sort of thing. Who else have we got? Bowcare Bowen Therapy. She looks after me, trying to keep me as in good a shape as I can for an old fella. I freaked out yesterday. I realised that March this year I'm 51 already. Feels like I only just turned 50, but yeah, like in 3 months, well, January, February, yeah, so 3 months time I'll be turning 51. So yeah, I think that's about it, eh? Oh, Midas Moto Australia hooked me up last year. I'm hoping to that they'll come back on board again this year and help me out with tyres. Yeah, so probably Brisbane Dirt Bike Rentals. So I was saying before about them. We got the billet throttle housing. We got the ignition and clutch cover Enduro Hog. Yeah. So really blessed to have so many businesses out there that are supporting me and making it a bit more affordable and easier to do what I do. I mean, motorcycle racing is bloody expensive, and you know, the soft gummy tyres, you know, some of them you're only getting one race out of. You know, you can be looking at throwing anywhere from 150 to nearly 200 bucks just for one tyre. You know, engine oil, filters, you know, like rebuilds on the engine, accessories, you know, pull straps, seat covers, graphics kits, suspension, yeah, just the list just goes on and on of like the cost. Then you got race events. Like this year, I'm gonna have to have 2 licenses this year because the Hard Enduro Series is going to be under the AMCA, and the Queensland Enduro Championships is going to still be under Motorcycle Queensland. So I'm going to have, you know, there's $600 in licenses before I've even attended a race or entered a race. Then you're looking at anywhere up around the average of $300, $400 an event. So times that this year, I'm looking at probably 10 events that I know of at bloody $400 a pop. So yeah, that adds up over the year. But we wouldn't do it if we loved it. We wouldn't do it if we loved it. We wouldn't do it if we didn't love it. And yeah, not getting any younger. So I'm pretty blessed at my age. You know, in my early 50s, just about to turn 51, that I'm still out there. Yeah, giving it a crack. A lot of the guys I ride with are like early mid 30s. There's guys that I race against that are in their 50s. Some of them in the classes that I race are an over 45s class, so some of them are mid 40s. Yeah, but just while I can, I'm gonna keep doing it, and yeah, just enjoy the whole process. But yeah, I don't know. Has anybody got any questions about anything? Hey Caden, sorry mate, your message was held for review. They obviously, I'm not sure, they might have been thinking about a different kind of pipe, but yeah man, the pipe's bloody awesome, eh? Really, really digging that. Oh, another moderator just handled this. Oop, taxi. Not sure. Who have I got snuck in there moderating for me? Top messages, all messages. Yeah, so it keeps fluctuating. Every time I think, oh, I'll jump out, it drops down to like 7 or 8 people in here, and then I think, oh, I'll jump off now, and then next thing it's back up to 17 people. Obviously, because it's in the shorts format, people are sort of coming and going very quickly. Yeah, if it was a normal live stream, it wouldn't be probably as fluctuate as much. But yeah, being in the shorts, it pops up, people see it, they hop in, have a quick look. If they like it, they stay. If not, they'll just click away and jump onto another live stream or another video. Well, I looked just before, I was up to like half an hour, so, but yeah, country living, I can do that. Hey Kevo, mate, I can't afford to have two bikes, and I love trail riding, and I also race enduro as well. So hence why I've gone for the 354 stroke. It covers all bases for me. I'm a four-stroke boy. I'm not a fan of two strokes. I don't like the fact that they don't have engine braking. As much as people say to me, "Oh, the new injected two strokes have got that bit of engine braking." That, mate, I've hopped on a few mates, newer and older, 302 strokes, and just I'm used to coming into a corner and rolling off the throttle and having the bike slow down. So my style of riding, I rely a lot on engine braking in the faster, flowier stuff. So that I don't like power band. It's just for me. I love the predictability of a four-stroke. I love the power delivery. It's just a personal thing. I get quite a lot of people come up to me at the hard enduros and actually, "Oh, I can't believe you're doing that on a four-stroke," and blah blah blah. And but yeah, that's just what I love, and yeah, that's it. Yeah, we'll have a limiter, but I don't. Yeah, there's no need for me to go to the limiter. That's even the 350 is more power than what I need. I don't need to go anywhere near the limiter on these guys. Yeah, I say the same, country living. The exhaust basically frees up the flow depending on what you do, what kind of muffler you put on. You do have to be careful with, obviously the engine needs a certain amount of back pressure for it to function properly. This bike actually had the ECU, so the computer was tuned to suit this pipe. So that's one thing you got to look at with the injected bikes is the computer, and obviously there's O2 sensors and all that sort of thing and what have you. So they do recommend that if you do swap exhaust or any of the other part of the system, that you do actually get the ECU tuned or mapped, if you like, to suit the system that you got on it to, just to counteract that change. Hey Kamikaze, how you going, bro? Country living, I rode a little bit as a young fella. I never had my own bike, but I had mates that had cane farms and other mates that raced motocross and supercross. So I sort of rode their bikes here and there. But I only owned my first bike and started riding about 10 years ago. So say for argument's sake, I've been riding for about 10 years. Only been racing for about I think four years. I think 4 or 5 years. I think this is either my 5th year or my 6th year of racing. But when I did start, it was only a little bit. It was only maybe a couple of races, 3 or 4 races a year, and leading up to this year, I'm looking at doing 2 series. One hard enduro series, which is 5 rounds from northern New South Wales to Mossman, Far North Queensland, and also 5 rounds in the Queensland Enduro Championships, which is all spread out over Queensland as well. So this year's looking at most likely a 10 rounds for me, maybe some others if I can fit them in. Hey Coco, no, I don't trail stream. I'd love to, but what I've found with streaming out in the bush is just the signal. You don't generally get a good signal. So even the place where I'm going riding, the Savi, is like directly underneath what we call telecom towers, which is exactly that. It's telephone towers and that. But I've done streaming like with my phone and that, and the quality just doesn't come out. So I've never bothered streaming on like GoPro or like I've now got the Insta360, but hey, Country Living, I I started to practice and learn to wheelie, and then I ended up one day, I flipped it on a rocky gravel thing and injured my knee. So I figured just little wheelies to get over logs and holes and stuff like that'll do me. But pretty much, you want to compress the front as it's uncompressing. There's a couple of different ways, is depending on the power of your bike, is pop the throttle, some pop the clutch a little bit to get that front wheel up, and then basically it's throttle and brake control is on the throttle to keep the front. If you start to go backwards, you want to have your foot on the back brake and dab that brake to get the front to come back down. You know, fingers on the clutch in case you need to emergency pull the clutch in. But yeah, I'm probably not the best one. I got mates that can wheelie, like Willie T can wheelie top gear 140 kilometers an hour. But yeah, that's not me. Too late in life, I think, for me to start learning how to wheelie. Coco, I don't know whether you really, I run pretty low pressures anyway, but depends on where you're wheeling. If you're, if you're on grass or dirt or whatever, but, you know, lowering your pressure on your tyre gives you better, better contact with the ground. So essentially the lower your pressure in your tyre, I think you can see that all right. Yeah, the lower the pressure in your tyre, the wider the footprint. If you can see that, if you let the air out of your tyre. But what you got to watch with that is, the softer the tyre, the more roll you can get in it, like get a bit of that wobble in it. But certainly lowering the tyre pressure can help. Your main place it'll help is with traction, basically. No worries, Country Living. Appreciate you. Thanks if you're going to subscribe. Really appreciate it. Hope to catch you again in one of the lives. Take it easy, eh? Hey, thanks, Coco. Appreciate it. I'll probably look at peeling out shortly. I'll just double check what time I got on here. I've got to make sure I can get everything ready to go out on this ride. Oh, we might give it another... We might give it another 10... I'll run for the hour and then I'll probably peel out. A upend. This is Gas 350. So EC 350 2023 model. Yeah, so she's looks a bit different to what they do with the black plastics and the custom kit. Which brand is more reliable? I was planning on CRF 250 or a 300L. Hey Coco, Hondas are pretty bloody good bikes, hey, like, so you're talking a CRF 250, and what's the 300L? Is that like a KLX or something? Because I don't think CRF do a 300. And is the 300 a, that's normally that CC is a, I suppose Sherco do a 300 4-stroke, but yeah, the CRF are definitely a fairly bulletproof motor, eh? Like, obviously depending on the year, but yeah, I was always going to be a Japanese bike person myself, but one of my workmates, a good mate, said to me, "Oh, why do you want to get that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's just what I grew up with." It was basically, you know, mates either had Yamaha, Kawasaki, Honda, or what was the fourth brand? Honda, Yami, Quacky, Suzuki. Suzuki, like the four main bikes back in the day when I was young was, yeah, all those guys for, you know, motocross and supercross and that. There was all the Japanese bikes, your KTMs and all that sort of thing weren't really, you know, they weren't really a thing. But these days, yeah, the European bikes are obviously in the enduro scene, because essentially all of those 4 Japanese suppliers just don't seem to, or Japanese brands just don't seem to do enduro bikes. They're still stuck in the motocross, so hence open up the door for you know, KTM, Sherco, you know, Gas, which is essentially KTM, Husky, Beta. So it seems like pretty much in the hard enduro world, it's all European bikes. Yeah, righto. But yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with a Honda, eh? Like, if you're just looking at doing, yeah, trail riding and stuff like that. No worries, guys. I'll probably give it another 5 minutes and I'm going to jump out and go start getting all my gear ready, my race gear, or not my race gear, but my riding gear and my camel pack and stuff like that. So, yeah, appreciate you all jumping in. Do you repair yourself? I do most anything on the outside of the bike, I do myself. So I change my own tyres, change my own chain and sprockets and discs, and do all the bearings, wheel bearings. Just recently did the linkage bearings. The only thing I won't do on a motorbike is internal engine stuff. There's just too many dollars at stake and so many like so much precision with clearances and stuff like that. So hence why I got Promo to do the top end rebuild. Two reasons is I don't do it myself, and the other thing was I was going to be away and wanted to get it worked on while I was away, so I didn't have to wait when I got back. So do I have a Twitch? I don't think so. Do I have a Twitch? I know I slap the bike a lot. I have a habit of hitting the bike when I'm talking. But yeah, I don't think I've got a Twitch. Have I got a Twitch? Have I? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's what you meant by Twitch, but yeah, essentially anything outside, not a problem. Anything inside here, yeah, I don't play. You know, do something wrong in there and you can be talking, you know, anywhere up to 4 or 5 grand to replace a motor. So yeah, I stay away from that. Alright, another couple of minutes, people. Actually, I'm not sure how much fuel I got in here. No, it's just a standard clutch in this one. I've had a few mates that have run the Recluse, and they're good in certain applications, but it's certainly not something I'd run myself. You rely too much on well, in hard enduro anyway, you rely too much on clutch control and that to not actually have a clutch. You probably get away with it in the open faster enduro, but definitely not in hard enduro. You just you'd struggle by not having a clutch to drop and feather and that sort of thing. It won't be a sec. I'll just get this fuel in and I'll. Give me a quick look over the bike before I take off. a heap of my sponsors. A couple of new ones I've got that aren't on there. FMF slip-on. Me making tracks. It's pretty cool. I love these things. You have to check what I got in there for today's ride, but that's good. I normally chuck my phone and some gels and lollies and stuff in there. Hey Cat Pop, how you going? Nah, I haven't been shark fishing before. I've been fishing, but not for sharks. I have caught a little one before, but yeah, not on purpose. I just recently got my mate Jordo ordered 2 of these by accident. Was got like a white KTM plate with the headlight, and so I remembered I had my old plate off my KTM 450, so I fitted the light up to that. But I reckon it looks pretty sweet. Sort of a KTM gas. I just recently wired up a switch for that, so I can switch the light off, because on these all the newer KTMs and gas and that, you can't actually switch the light off. It only actually has high and low beam. So yeah, one of the guys said, oh, you should put an isolator switch in so you can switch the light off, especially when we're doing a lot of stop starting. So yeah, I wired that up. It's basically just a switch that goes to ground to cut the circuit to the light. So the old hard enduro's rough on the gear. But protects everything. Oddie vapor blasted my header pipe for me when he did the top end. Got the Cherbus bash plate with linkage protection. Yeah, I've got a few mates actually. Yeah, we call them a bash plate, skid plate, bash plate. A few mates have actually run the quad lock mount for their phones, but I'm not a fan because it sits here exposed, and when you do what I do a fair bit and drop the bike, either flip it or it rolls down the hill, it's the phone's not normally really happy. So this particular one, you can actually, the phone will actually fit in here, and it actually works. The touch works through here, but I personally just I normally wrap the phone in the cloth and just tuck the phone in here, so if I do flip it, it's protected because it hits the bars generally, unless you're unlucky enough to hit a rock right on there. Yeah, it's sort of out of the road. Yeah, but that's yeah, rear tyres. I've got Moose tubes in there, so I do have Moose rounds that I use to race. So these are basically a squashy foam rubber ball, so they just go inside the tyre, all beside each other, and that's your tube. So perfect, really good design for hard enduro. There's like I think I run about 20 20 of them in the rear tyre, so no air, just yeah, just them. Otherwise you got the Moose tubes, that's the front, so they're essentially solid foam rubber, goes in your tyre, and then put your tyre on the rim. Anyway, crew, I'm going to call it at that and go and start getting ready for the Savo's ride. So thank you for everyone that come in. Thank you Coco Hazel and Country Living. Good to have a chat. Appreciate you hanging around. Love answering questions that you guys have got. But yeah, take it easy, enjoy yourselves, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next live. And stay tuned for a ride video from the Savo's ride. Catch you, people.